Go ahead and just let me have it. Let me have it. I'm a big boy. I will preface with Ford Field is the home of the shittiest refereeing Seattle Seahawks fans have ever seen.
Oh, it was terrible.
Thank you, Justin. I'm not being completely biased.
There were a couple calls.
Troy Aikman, who I go to all my officiating on national television, was questioning the competence of the NFL officiating because there's two significant plays that they fucked up. That the DK Metcalf 2-point conversion should have been a completion. Mm-hmm. That flips the script. And then 4th and 1 going for it. Also, a pass interference that was egregious. Is that Terrion yet again? Sounds like a fucking shitty seasoning. Terrion Owens sprinkling himself all over DK in the end zone. That should have been a PI, and the Lions should have scored a touchdown. Not saying that was going to change the game, but it would have changed the game.
No, Terrion Arnold, yeah, so he's been pissing me off.
It's rare that a play in the first quarter kind of dooms it, but the DK fumble was huge.
And you can't fault him because he was going for extra yards. He was fighting and scrapping and dragging. He was dragging 3 defenders, and they just happened to get a good shot on him. It was a good shot.
And that was on us. So congratulations, Miss K. You got the W, and we didn't bet.
Did you notice that I stayed quiet, though?
I did. And I was not having a good day to begin with, and I turned that motherfucker off after about the 3rd quarter. I was like, nah, this ain't happening.
I did message you guys, and I said, I swear to the living God, if that fuckwit Terrion Arnold gives up any more fucking yards because of his inability to understand the way the pros play, I will end up throwing my remote through the TV. And then he did. Of course he did. And I said, I was very courteous. Love a good game, and yes, I agree that 2-point conversion should have counted.
And the PI should have been called, and the Lions should have got a touchdown right there as well. Who knows what happens after that?
It's hard to top perfection, though, so I got to tip my hat to your boy, Jared Goff. 18 for 18. That's pretty ridiculous.
How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that?
Well, when your shitty defense bites on the play action every single fucking time, but that's because they can't stop the run any fucking time.
They were also missing 5 out of their front 7.
She's just going right to the bottle now. I can't decide. I mean, the Seahawks offense is elite. I think they've proven that they're elite, but is the Lions defense that shitty? And then the other way is the Lions offense is pretty good, but is the Seahawks defense that shitty? Okay, by the way, I do like that you wore your Lions sweatshirt on purpose for this. You know, you're always the one saying, don't look in the past. Always focus on the now. I believe last episode, focus on the now, Todd, was a statement I heard. But God forbid you don't just go back and just rub salt in those claw-created wounds.
Listen, what a good game, though. Can we all agree that was just such a fun game to watch?
It was fun. And pure NFL, this isn't over. There's still a shot here. They could turn this around until deep into the 4th quarter. So. Oh,
my God, it was just so good. And then when that play happened where they threw it, Goff threw it to Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra threw it back to Goff, and Goff got the touchdown. I was just
quarterback throwback. I was fucking pissed that a professional NFL offense would run that high school bullshit, and 2, that an NFL defense fucking bit and got blown away by it. My high school used that play in the 1986 playoffs to win the state championship.
What position did you play, Justin?
I played center and linebacker. Thank you.
He liked having other people's hands up his butt. But I played quarterback, so I was the guy that had to put his hands up another guy's butt.
Did you play quarterback?
Did you do that respectfully, Todd?
I did.
Okay, because I had one of my quarterbacks when I was a senior.
You need to put more pressure. It was the UFIA that got edited out of the last one. It was the unintentional finger in ass.
That's right. Accidentally. And I had a guy, quarterback, when I was a senior. He'd come in, down, sit. And he'd do that because he thought it was fucking hilarious just to see me. Oh.
Ooh, I'd like that.
Yeah, I bet you would. I'm not going to name names because this podcast is going to be huge, but he knows.
It is a special relationship, quarterback and center. It's unlike any other relationship in sport, quarterback and center.
Yeah, I don't let my mama touch me like that. You know, it was something. And you always hated when you go and you get a new quarterback. Like you've had this nice relationship with this guy. You've built this rapport, this trust, and then you get a new guy down there. His hands feel different. They might be cold, clammy, warm, and he doesn't know exactly how to put them. And if because you can't really wear a cup, because if you wear a cup, you're going to hurt the quarterback's hand. You don't want to do that. So you don't know that he is going to catch it properly, especially like new quarterback, working it all out, ironing out the ins and outs, mostly the ins to outs, snap, pinch your balls. Minimum once a practice as you're getting ready for the regular season. It's just, God. And, you do it one time, and you're basically ruined for the rest of the day. Now you have to gingerly, slowly snap it up. You get destroyed by the nose tackle. Coach yelling at you, fire that in there, Henriksen! And you just, it's...
I feel like that's kind of like what foreplay is. It's like, especially with a new person, it's like you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to new hands, new ways to move things about.
Well, I'll tell you what, never fire a football into their testicles as like, I'll tell you what, if you're trying things out, you skip that step.
Stay away from that. Welcome to Sweat Socks and All That Sauce with Justin, Kay, and Todd, where no sport is off limits and the debates are debatable. This week, we're debating the best and worst mascots in sports. I'm really excited about this one.
I do like me a good mascot. Cheerleaders, but mascots, they really make or break the team.
I feel like you could be your own mascot. I feel like you could be a mascot.
Well, we'll get to that, Kay, as we talk about our favorite mascots and least favorite mascots. Matter of fact, you may have been there when I attempted, unsuccessfully, by the way, to become an NFL mascot.
Does this deal with the Minnesota Vikings by any stretch of the imagination? Yes, of course it does. Okay, we'll get there. Before we get into this debate, can we get some of the latest news, please, Todd?
As you may or may not know, the Oakland Athletics are no longer the Oakland Athletics. And I went to the final game in A's history, happened to be in Seattle, thanks to Justin hooking me up there. I appreciate that, sir. The A's played their last game on their home field in the Oakland Coliseum, and I love this because their owner's a cheapskate motherfucker moving them out, this long storied franchise. One of the employees found a great way to protest the team's move eventually to Las Vegas. The employees there get a 30% discount on food, and he gave everybody the QR code. He posted it. So all the fans got the employee discount until they figured out what the fuck was going on. I was like, good for you, sir. Small victory for the common man. The code was eventually disabled, but lots of fans got some bargains.
Did you see, by the way, the Oakland Athletics, that the final post game, like after the game's over and they wrap up the what happened with the game, they actually made them pre-record the post game to play after the game, and then they've said, just so you know, we don't know the score, this was pre-recorded, so 100%, just so that there would be no chance that these guys who are about to move from Oakland and probably lose their jobs wouldn't just talk shit about the ownership and fuck you before they sent them packing. So they didn't even give them a chance to do it. They just made them pre-record it ahead of time so they could edit out anything they didn't like.
Oh my gosh. What's the story behind Oakland and why all the teams are leaving? What's the deal with that?
Well, there's only one team left at that point, Oakland, and they were just leaving because, their owner wanted to make money. More money. If you've seen Moneyball, you know that...
but like all of them are gone, right? Like you've got like Oakland Raiders went to Vegas.
Yeah. And then there was the Athletics.
But
the Oakland Raiders, they went from Oakland to LA to Oakland. I mean, that's Raiders fans are some of those diehard in the league. They moved them to Vegas because they can make way more money. And, how far is the drive from Oakland to Las Vegas? I bet a lot of those diehards still make the drive and go to the games. But now, like, you can't even cheer for your actual franchise because if they see greener pastures, they'll say, fuck you, city. Like, there's no identity. Now they just move to a bigger market where they can make more money and leave you with, like you said, a stadium that you paid for with your tax dollars.
That's disappointing.
I
think our teams are all safe, though, yes?
For now.
Do we think?
Yeah. Even my Minnesota Twins, which shouldn't be anymore. The Montreal Expos should still be a thing, but wicked twist of fate, we ended up getting to keep our franchise, and the Expos went bye-bye.
And Twins are the former Washington, the
Yes,
second
they're originally
version
the
of the
Washington
Washington
Senators,
Senators,
and they moved down to
right?
Minnesota.
So the Twins are a bastard child baseball
It's
team.
true. It's true. Not gonna lie.
You know
And then
who's
Washington
not?
eventually got a new team, the Nationals.
Detroit's not.
Yep. They've been the same shitty franchise with the same shitty tired logo and the same shitty tired uniforms and that same
Excuse
shitty
me.
ballpark.
We've won a few World Series in there.
Yeah. But I don't like to dwell on the past. I'm here in the present and the now.
Well. Right, let's get back to our debate about the best and worst mascots. This was so fun to research, and I've learned a lot. And I'm very intrigued to see if some of your bests are my worst and vice versa. I'm really, really excited. So Justin, I'm gonna let you start with your best.
All right. Well, this is a two-headed monster. Because the best mascot of all time. His name was Ragnar. Also known, I believe his real name was Joe. Ragnar the Viking for the Minnesota Vikings. He was the unofficial mascot of the franchise back in like 1994. He was a janitor at like Washburn High School in Minneapolis. Fast forward from 1994 to 2015, and he wants to get paid. He's making $1,500 a game as an independent contractor, and he wanted a bump. He wanted like $20,000 a game. He essentially wanted like a 10-year, $2 million contract.
Whoa.
But again, it's just like when you pay those free agents, like it's kind of a jaw-dropping number at the front end, but 10 years down the road, you're getting them for a bargain price. That's just it. You got to look forward. Well, not so fast, said the Vikings. They would not meet his price. As a matter of fact, they said, we're out. When they just cut ties with Ragnar altogether. There was no more Ragnar. I remember part of his point was because he said, every time there's an NFL commercial, be it for selling merchandise or hyping up the league, and they're going through the different crowds, the different fandoms of players, Ragnar always showed up in the fucking NFL hype commercials, and he never saw a dime. He's like, I want to get paid.
Oh my God.
Name, image, likeness in this day and age, like he should be a rich man. So they said, no, sorry. The Vikings said, fuck you. Back to mopping floors at Washburn High School, buddy. Because also in the mid-2000s, they got their official mascot, who until a short time ago was the shittiest of all mascots. And his name is Victor the Viking. Victor the Viking. They had Ragnar, this bearded fucking giant man who had an armor, he had a sword, a mace, he had a shield, he'd ride in on a Harley or a snowmobile. Nobody pumped up the crowd like Ragnar. No, we got Victor the Viking, who looks like a fucking tap dancer with gigantism in his head. He's not even a Viking. They dress him up in a Vikings, like he's a football player, and they give him these fucking pixie pigtails that are bleach blonde and a shitty like Chip's mustache and a big smart. He looks like if the Aryan race wanted to promote the NFL. That's what he looks like. It's absolute horseshit and embarrassing the fact that Victor the Viking is down there on the sidelines now trying to pump up the crowd, which, by the way, I bet you 9 out of 10 Vikings fans couldn't even tell you that his name was Victor.
I have seen more masculine people selling hot cocoa that look like Victor the Viking. The Swiss Miss.
The Swiss Miss. It's just a Swiss Miss with a fucking mustache. You're right. God damn it.
I had Ragnar on my top best.
You had Ragnar on the list?
I did, on my top best ones, yes.
So this was when they cut ties with Ragnar. I started a campaign, unsuccessfully, to become Ragnar. I was like, I don't know what you were paying him. I will take what you were paying him. I will take a pay cut if I can just come down on the field. You give me the motorcycle. I get to run around waving a sword, banging it on the shield, getting the crowd fucking pumped. Are you kidding me? I would have done it for free. Fucking crickets. Nothing. They just
Nothing.
We went with Victor Lottie-Dot tap dancing, the Viking Swiss Miss bitch ass piece of shit. We haven't won a Super Bowl because of that. I blame Victor.
We blame Victor. Victor, it's your fault. What happened to Ragnar? Do we know?
Well, so actually, he started out as a janitor at that high school. He worked his way up to being like a guidance counselor at the school, and so that's what he does now, I believe.
Oh my God! What a
He's kind of like
lovely
Rudy,
man.
but like it really like real and impressive.
What a lovely man. Oh my god, I think he is like my favorite just because of that story. Oh my goodness. What are your thoughts on Orlando Magic's Stuff the Magic Dragon?
I yield the floor to Todd on that one. Fucking Stuff the Magic.
I did virtually zero research on mascots, but I will tell you this. I sent you a picture on WhatsApp with the last one is actually my son, who was a mascot for 2 years for our local college baseball team, Scott T. Pippen. He's a giant apple head. And when he got the job, old buddy of mine was the previous mascot here in town when we were the Bears. And it was a big pear-shaped bear body. And those, Justin, at least Ragnar was kind of like a real person. But these, they wear these giant foam heads. And the vision is not great. And I asked my buddy when my son got the job, I said, do you have any advice for him? And he said, make sure it's a shoulder and not a tit.
That's sage advice. And by the way, what was that thing of nightmares that you sent from the Seattle Supersonics? I remember I thought it was like a Yeti, a Wookiee-looking motherfucker. Is that the same guy?
No. Yes. He was called the Wheedle because he's got a red nose for a reason, because the Space Needle at the very tippy top, the iconic Space Needle in Seattle, has a red light that blinks. So they were like, our mascot's going to be the Wheedle on the needle. But instead he looks like, hey, what's the caption say on that? Super Sports 70 Ricky Cobb hashtag?
Supersonic's Wheedle, who looks like he just got kicked off Sesame Street for asking Big Bird to buy him crystal meth.
Hold it up again. Hold it up for those that are watching at home. Hold it up again.
It's just too good.
It's the stuff of nightmares. Got a blinking beacon on the front of his face. I can't even believe they got those Supersonics to get anywhere near him. That's legit the stuff of nightmares.
The eyes. Did you see the eyes?
Oh, yes. Well, that is a days-long bender right there, man. Days-long bender.
I have a feeling I've seen that guy on a street in Seattle in the not too distant past, possibly in a tent, possibly cooking something up that smelled funny.
That's him.
That's him. Wheedle using the needle on the fucking sidewalk because they're not using him anymore.
Pay the man. Pay the man big bucks.
Yes, probably.
God, you know what? If they bring the Sonics back,
probably the government
back.
taxpayer-funded needles.
You know what? We're just giving the homeless some new jobs. What are your thoughts on the Philly Fanatic?
Number one. Him, the Phoenix Gorilla, or my real number one is Ted Giannoulis, the famous chicken, the San Diego chicken, is the gold standard of mascots. He made it possible to being a mascot for a team is now like a 00 license to kill. You can do anything as long as you're in that costume. Ted Giannoulis is who started it. The Philly Fanatic took it to the next level, man. And I have seen him in person in Philly at the old vet. And we were sitting in the nosebleeds and he came up to our section and I'm like, okay, here's the Fanatic and all the kids and all this. But God, he was so tremendously funny.
You know what? Because fuck Philadelphia, by the way, because they're like the shittiest fans and the shittiest towns, the shittiest teams. But they've got the Philly Fanatic and Gritty. And Gritty might be my favorite. Since Ragnar is R.I.P., he's like Wheedle, but for whatever reason, I'm not scared of him.
Gritty's
I want to hang out. I will smoke meth with him. He is fucking awesome.
Isn't Gritty the one where like he can like doesn't he come down from like the rafters and stuff and doesn't he like zoom in and do all
just
this
whatever
shit?
he wants?
Oh,
just finger bangs the coach's wife. Fucking he rappels down and throws needles at kids full of heroin. It doesn't matter. He's gritty. It's weird and wild, but like, let him do his thing.
He's the fanatic's like really fucking cool cousin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those two have to party so hard. Like when is there a time in the year where there's not baseball and hockey happening? Nah, so they never really get like an official like real like time off together. If they do, let me just say there's probably got to be a new person inside that mascot costume the next year because somebody dies every time. Either it's like a gambling debt, like in drugs that go bad, like just accidentally playing around with a pistol. Shit gets crazy in Tijuana when Gritty and the Fanatic are down there together. Dispute over a cockfight. I don't know. But I'd like to party with him.
And what's the Wheedle? The Wheedle's down there hanging out with them as well. Oh my god.
Oh, they're curb stomping the Wheedle. They're 100% like, no. Get the fuck away from us.
Why is the Oregon Duck such a big deal? Why is he such a big mascot, like in college world?
He's adorable. I don't know.
Is that it? Is that about it?
I mean, when you think of all like the mascots, you're looking for like, a tiger.
He does.
A bear. I'm a duck. It doesn't instill fear. It makes you want to throw bread.
He does push-ups after every Oregon score, but he does the amount of points that they just got to. And for a good decade and a half, Oregon was rolling up some ridiculous scores. So, hey, the first touchdown, I do 6 push-ups in this big-ass Donald Duck I hate Oregon, by the way, and they're green and gold, so we hate the Packers, green and gold. I hate the Ducks, green and gold. I love me some Sonics, green and gold, so I'm torn. But he does a push-up for every point, and every time they score, it's now 63-7. 63 motherfucking push-ups in that
After he's had to do 57 of them, 49 of them. I mean, it's just, oof, yeah. He ends up doing 1,000 push-ups a game.
I'm Team Duck. Have you heard Jackson DeVille, the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Never heard of him.
Mascot. So he claims that he's the same man that has been playing him since its existence, which according to Instagram is 29 years. How is that possible?
Diet and exercise, I hope.
Did you know about the Bolt Man for the San Diego Chargers?
I've never really wondered until right now. Do the Chargers have a mascot, and who is it? Bolt Man?
Well, it was Boltman. He's retired now ever since they went to LA. But yeah, the San Diego Boltman, and he looks like he's like a mix between like Jim Carrey and a son. Google it. It is the weirdest. It is the strangest thing I have ever seen. Boltman. Yeah.
Ah! What the fuck? What the actual fuck is that? It's like a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. If you sat on his face.
Good description, Kay. That's awesome, man.
So good.
Who's drawn up mascots and said, this'll be it, Bolt Man? It looks like, it's almost like Jim McMahon if he was frozen in yellow carbonite. The fuck?
It's almost like Flash Gordon, your favorite football movie of all time. Flash!
Flash Gordon.
Holy shit. Well, I would like to point out, by the way, as we've talked about some of the best. Now, Kay, do you have a best mascot? Because you've run through some pretty shitty ones so far.
Well, I think just based on. I mean, I can't go. Obviously, my favorites are obviously my home teams. I love Paws. I love Rory as well.
Who's Paws? Who's Rory? What teams are those for?
Paws is Tigers. Rory is the Lions.
I've never seen those mascots before, and I've watched so many.
You've never seen the Lion?
I've never.
Paws is everywhere. Todd sent a picture of him. Was it your son, Todd?
Yeah.
Yeah, with Paws. There's Paws.
Oh, so he just ripped off Tigger? Gotcha.
And my wife.
And then the Pistons. I like the Piston. I mean, the Pistons is good, but I like the Red Wings and the fact that I like the story behind the Red Wings the most. I think when it comes to like the Detroit franchise of professional sports.
Do they have a mascot too? The Red Wings have a mascot?
What we do is the octopus.
Yeah, okay. I was
like
gonna say, do you have like a giant octopus mascot? Because that's the only mascot I'd root for. My high school hockey team, I wasn't on it, but they were in the playoffs, and we thought it would be fun to throw an octopus on the ice before the game. Tip of the cap to the Red Wings. Funny, though, in a Minneapolis suburb on like Wednesday in January, you can't find a fucking octopus. So we bought a bunch of shrimp, and we threw those instead. It wasn't nearly as cool. As a matter of fact, and when you're just throwing them one after another, even back then there was like a camcorder that like caught us absolutely doing it, so we did get in some trouble.
Speaking of South End United's football club, their nickname is called the Shrimpers, and they had Sammy the Shrimp. Google this shit. It looks like when a dog's little penis comes out.
Oh, the Red Rockets?
A red rocket, but it's pink.
Oh,
Red Rocket.
gross.
Red Rocket.
It's like your dog has a boner and it smiles at you. That's fucking disgusting.
Isn't that so gross? Now imagine throwing a bunch of those onto the ice.
No. You mean dildos? Because that's what I'm thinking when I look at that. It would just be a bunch of dildos on the ice, but they have googly eyes on them.
Oh my god.
Hey, do you get hot when you look at this? Just curious.
No, because then that would mean that I get hot when I look at dogs' little penises. What's that called where you like animals? What's that called?
Bestiality, I believe, is the term we're looking for here.
Not here for that. Not here for that.
Breaking
Breaking
news.
news?
Hold the phone. Breaking news. Pete Rose died. No, wait, not that breaking. Kay, it's your
Stop. Did the
it's your
Tigers win?
week, girl. I got this going on my phone.
Did the Tigers just win? Oh my god.
Knock the Astros out?
Life
Nice.
is so good.
I'm for it.
And the Astros.
Yeah.
Boo,
Yeah.
Astros.
That's right.
Lastros, Trastros, F them.
Just think, Todd, one more game.
Congratulations, Miss K
Thank
and
you.
the Tigers.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Kept the orange mic on because I'm so proud of my boys. Oh, that's so exciting.
We know that you've been following it for 164 games nonstop.
I go to a game every year I go home. I do
Yes.
go to a game. Every single time I go home, I go to a game. I love the Tigers. I just also really like to get those big plastic bats and drink beer out of them. I think that's really fun.
And then you play spinny bat afterwards.
And play skinny bets. Todd, do you have any other mascots that you'd like to share with the team?
Phoenix Gorilla is the Philly fanatic of basketball. I will say this. I worked those rings I showed you the last one. I worked for minor league baseball and minor league basketball. So I saw so many mascots. And as the PA announcer, I would meet these people out of costume to help them, coordinate. Here's what I'm going to do at the end of the first quarter, et cetera, et cetera. The basketball guys were ridiculous. They were all 5'6", and they were former gymnasts. Half of them went to Arizona State University. They were just unbelievably athletic. And the Mariner Moose, Seattle's fucking weird, I don't know why. He is infamously known for getting behind a three-wheeler in the Old Kingdom, and he's on roller skates, and they're pulling him along with a three-wheeler, and he wipes out and literally has a compound fracture. And a couple weeks later, I'm at a concert, and this dude, I had met him because he had been to Yakima, and I'm like, hey, man, and this guy's standing in front of me with a big, air cast on. I'm like, are you? I can't even remember the guy's real name. He's like, yeah, that's me. And I was like, God damn, dude. Salut.
Take one for the team. That's what mascots should do. I would like to say, though, if we can stick with Seattle sports, my least favorite mascot was Victor the Viking, the Swiss Miss with a mustache. But swing and a miss with our beloved Seattle Kraken and the new shittiest mascot in all of sports. Just instilling fear in the hearts of no one.
No one.
Fucking Bowie, the lamest fucking mascot in the history of sport. What the fuck what were they thinking?
I don't know. I think
My wife used to like you, Justin. She loves Bowie. We saw him at the Mariner game Sunday. They were out there, and Bowie came out. Oh,
Yeah.
Bowie!
Oh, yeah. Bowie's here.
Bowie's
Is your wife
here.
an 8-year-old? Because that's what they're going for. We need a mascot that's so
Yeah.
non-threatening that even 8-year-old children will want to come up and high-five it. Because that's what you're thinking about when you think about a fucking NHL franchise. You want this. My God. I'm going to keep this politically correct and just say. Be very soft, very weak, very huggable mascot. You got Gritty over in Philadelphia that's fucking terrorizing not just like fans, but fans of the other team, children everywhere. I'm kind of scared of Gritty, but in like a way that like I still want to hang out with him. And then you got fucking Bowie, who is like, is this Trolls 5? Did we steal this from like a fucking Trolls 5 world premiere? Then we decided to put somebody and throw a fucking Kraken jersey on him and set him out there? Ooh.
That is why she loves him, because remember, my wife's almost, she's going to kill me, 50 years old.
No, she's not.
Remember
I don't believe you.
Remember those, the little pencil
Trolls.
toppers? They were trolls. And why is the troll significant to Seattle? The troll under the bridge.
There's a troll under a bridge. I get all of that. Okay. Then when I heard it was going to be a troll, I'm like, fuck yeah. Let's make it. Here comes a troll. This is going to be some scary shit. You got to sneak up on people who are wearing the wrong sweater in the venue, scare the shit out of them. No. Instead, here comes fucking Skip to my Lou, my Bowie, fucking holding hands with the fucking Rainbow Bright, skipping around the fucking rink, acting like, you know, hockey's not even, like, we're not even playing hockey here. We're having a tea party. If you want a mascot for a tea party where there's fucking My Little Ponies is the theme, then bring Bowie. Ooh.
You know, who you should Google is Manchester City's Moonchester and Moonbeam. They are blue aliens. Google those suckers because they would be having fucking tea with this Bowie character.
Now, there you go. Bowie would be great for a soccer franchise. Now, that's what you need. Like, the Sounders should have Bowie. The Sounders probably have a tougher mascot than fucking Bowie. This multicolored dreadlocks and his piercings and his giant goofy fucking smile. Oh my God, he's so non-threatening. They actually have to like, look at that thing. Just look at that thing.
But he loves you, Justin.
Oh, he loves you. He wants a hug. Let's talk about our feelings while they're at fisticuffs on the ice. Oh, you should get a caffeine-free Pepsi instead of that beer. That's what I think of when like Bowie's the friend who wants to, like, take you to the fucking, like, Dungeons and Dragons party where they're drinking Coke Zero all night. Ooh, I heard Donnie's bringing Jolt Cola. You better tell your mom we're going to be up all night because fucking Bowie's bringing the party tonight.
But he's missing a tooth and he's got crazy eyes like the Wheedle. So he's got half the meth amphetamine addict. He's already missing a tooth. He's got the...
Bye.
Is he like post meth addiction? He's post meth addiction.
That's what, yeah, because he's fat. He's also robust. So yeah, he's trying to kick the habit. So he's feeding that craving with sugar nonstop, and that's why he's so sweet and lovable and huggable.
We need to get these four together.
I've been to the crack house where the Kraken play one time, and I never ran into Bowie. If I had, I would have fucking tripped him, 100%. Because you know they can't see so well. I would have held my leg out and I tripped him. And you know what he would have done? He would have cried. And his handler would have like I would have got caught. I would have been arrested, and then they would recommend I took sensitivity training.
Yeah, you would have to go through like therapy, and you'd have to sit there with Bowie and go through.
I love it. We're in the courtroom, and Bowie's holding a little Bowie doll. Show him on the doll where he hurt you, Bowie. It was an intentional finger in the ass, right in the troll's ass.
Oh my God! What kind of mascot, Justin? I know you discussed that you wanted to be Ragnar. You wanted to be the Viking that came in. But what if you could choose anything? What mascot would you envision yourself being?
Man, That's a good one, Kay. Justin, come on. You're the Viking. You would be the Viking, man, for sure.
Yeah, it'd be Ragnar. Yeah, I mean, that's easy. That's a slam dunk. Other than that, I always like, you're talking about the gorilla for the Phoenix Suns. The Timberwolves have Crunch, who was a Timberwolf instead of a gorilla, but did the same crazy shit. Would like do high flying acrobatics off a trampoline, slam dunk basketballs, all that good stuff. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that mascot. I don't want to have to perform, feats of strength or endurance or stamina. I don't want to do any running. I don't want to have to slam dunk a basketball. I want to be Ragnar. I want to drive a motorcycle around and then stand on the sideline and just beat my shield with my sword.
I have the frame for the methamphetamine, fentanyl, I don't know what I would be.
Right. So I think our homework this week is to think of what each other would be if they were a mascot.
This is fair. All right. Let's do that for the next episode. We will determine, we will each come up with a good mascot for the other members of this podcast. And it can be a real mascot or one that we envision.
Or the one that we make up ourselves.
Mm-hmm. If you have drawings of this concept, that would be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Should we get like AI involved?
I don't know. Are they available to do this? Have we checked the schedule?
I don't know how to make AI pictures. Do you know?
I've heard about AI and I hear it's great, but I don't know. Like, is it listening right now? AI. I need a picture of a mascot that looks kind of like a cross between Todd, a crackhead, and Bowie. Turns out, actually, AI just generated the photo, and a mix of Todd and a crackhead is Bowie.
To send us out as always each week, Justin gives us his wise words of wisdom.
Kay, you gave us homework last week, and you said, Todd, we got to come up with more life participation trophies. I bet you did about the same amount of work I did on that. Justin, I want to say to you, as we've turned the page on the calendar, I want to say that I appreciate you for quiet quitting. Oh, no, wait, you fucking didn't. But welcome back to the wonderful world of drinking booze.
Thank you, Todd, and thank you for segueing into that. I participated in what is called Dry September.
Which is not real.
Well, not for anybody else in this fucking podcast, that's for sure. But, the clarity that comes with that is... You spend a lot of time looking inward, and especially not outward, because everyone else is drunk as shit and having the best time. So you spend a lot of time with yourself, just reflecting, because you can't carry on a conversation with any of your friends because, again, they're drunk and on a different plane than you are. So you go to the concert, the sporting event. I forgot when I agreed to do Dry September. I looked at the schedule and said, oh, I don't have a lot going on. This will be good. Oh, I left out the part where there was fucking Major League Baseball end of season, NFL fucking kicking off. What was I thinking? I have watched more NFL games sober in the month of September than I did for the last 25 years combined, and I'm not exaggerating. But I will say this. I know now that football is truly my favorite sport because I was able to watch that many games, and never once did I think, man, I need a drink to enjoy this. Now, that might be because my Vikings are 4-0. The only time where I felt like I needed a fucking drink was when the shitty Detroit Lions somehow miracled a victory over my Seattle Seahawks. At that point, I felt like Daddy needs a drink and he wants to kick a puppy. But I was unable to do either because I was dry and did not have a puppy available. But to anybody out there who thinks that maybe, drinking every day isn't for them and they would like to just try and see if they could go 30 days or 31 days not drinking, my advice to you is wait till fucking February because it's only 28 days.
Thanks for joining Sweat Socks and All That Sauce with Justin K. and Todd. You can watch the show on YouTube. Follow us on socials at SweatSocksPod. And if you want to chime in, feel free to send us an email at sweatsockspodcast@gmail.com. And also, we want to know, I'm posting all this stuff on TikTok. I want to know what your favorite mascots are. So feel free to chime in. Let us know your favorite mascots and let us know what you think what kind of mascots we would be. I'm intrigued. Oh, God. Put that thing away, Todd. Till next time.
What? Oh.
Stay sweaty.
What's the fingers?
Sweat Socks and All That Sauce is hosted by Todd Lyons, Kay White, and Justin Michaels.
Our theme song made by Pat Leonards.
And the album artwork is by Mike Willis.